On July 24th, 1915, the SS Eastland, a passenger ship that was only 265 feet long and 38 feet wide, capsized in Chicago, Illinois, killing 848 people, the greatest loss of life in any Great Lakes maritime disaster. Perhaps the strangest part of this disaster is that the boat was tied up to a dock at the time. The Eastland was built in 1903 to carry passengers from Chicago to South Haven and back. It was sold and then plied the route from Cleveland to Cedar Point. In 1914, she changed hands again and worked the Chicago to St. Joseph, Michigan route. After the Titanic disaster on May 31st, 1911, maritime safety laws changed, requiring ships to have enough lifeboats for all the passengers. The extra weight topside on the Eastland made the ship unstable, and this almost certainly contributed to the disaster. The crew knew that the ship was top-heavy and it could be dangerously unstable with those extra lifeboats up there. So, in an effort to mitigate the danger, water ballast tanks were installed on either side. On the day of the disaster, over 2,500 passengers jammed onto the ship. The destination that day was a company picnic in Michigan City, Indiana. As the passengers began to load at the dock in the Chicago River, the boat started listing to port. That's the left side facing forward. The crew tried to trim the ship by letting ballast water into the starboard or right side tanks. But when a large crowd of passengers suddenly went port, the ship rolled over on its side. It was stopped from going completely upside down by the fact that the Chicago River was only just a bit over 20 feet deep at that point, and the ship drew 19 feet 6 inches when fully loaded. The death toll was so high because many of the passengers had moved below decks for the trip and were trapped underwater and drowned. Yet others were crushed by the weight of people and equipment that fell over on them when the boat capsized. Some people were crushed by pianos and other heavy furniture that was not fastened down. Even though the ship was tied to the dock, 844 passengers and 4 crew members died that day. An investigation found the designer of the ship, the owners, the captain, and the ship's engineer were all responsible, but no criminal charges were ever laid. Now here's a strange story. The Eastland was salvaged, refitted, and sold to the U.S. Navy, where she got a second life as a gunboat. The USS Wilmette was mainly a training and reserve ship. I'm Alan Stokel. Thank you for watching.